Hey, what is up, people of Facebook and YouTube and Twitch? I'm here today with Our Frankenstein's frontman Nexus.
Hi, how's it going? Thank you for having me on.
Hey, yeah, no problem. So right off the bat, I've got to ask, where did your band name come from?
So it's odd enough. When I was born, the film Young Frankenstein with Gene Wilder and the whole Mel Brooks film. Yeah, I was actually born to that film that was playing in the hospital room as I was emerging, let's just say, and it's a story. I mean, not just the Gene Wilder film, but like the story of Frankenstein, the doctor, the monster, all that kind of just stuck with me, and sort of the deeper meaning of everything kind of stuck around, and it coincides with what the band represents. So it just seemed like a fitting name.
That's a really cool story. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
So, obviously you're an anonymous band. Has that brought any like special challenges to, being able to do things, or is that, just not an issue?
A little bit. When I guess in regards to making like online content, you have a lot of, that's like a pretty huge aspect of being a musician now. We tend to struggle in that regard because, we don't have a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we would show that maybe some other bands would show because we keep ourselves hidden for the most part. And that tends to pose challenges, but also, challenges breed creativity. So that's kind of what we roll with.
What made you decide to do this project anonymously?
Well, it's funny. In our like infant stages of the group, we did not start out this way. So we gradually kind of evolved into this. But a lot of the story that we developed around the band kind of led us to this point where we have this whole lore and backstory and all of that stuff that kind of goes along with it.
And some of that you recently shared in like this weird little video on YouTube, right?
That's correct. Yeah, we have like a fake conspiracy show called Conspiracy, and we wanted to do it in the vein of like the Twilight Zone.
Right.
It's almost like the Twilight Zone meets some rambling guy on the internet, and we thought this would be an interesting way to kind of explore the backstory. We plan on making more episodes as well, so those will be out pretty soon.
Sweet.
Yeah.
How would you describe, the kind of sound that you guys have?
It's a good question. I've always been a big fan of like artists like Bowie and even Manson, I suppose, where they change every era, and that reflects a lot of the sound. For us, it's kind of been the same thing. We have some stuff that's industrial, some stuff that's more, I guess you could say, on the goth rock side of things. So we would consider ourselves a bit of a hybrid of the two now, especially with the new record that we have coming out. We do combine a lot of those elements.
Yeah, especially noticed because the two singles that you have out so far, I feel like one goes very much one way and one's the other way.
Exactly. Yeah, we wanted to kind of like explore the spectrum of the record with those two singles. I think the third one we are going to release eventually is going to kind of like encapsulate the two. You know, kind of like merge those two sounds, but definitely like we wanted to do like the two polarizing kind of genres that exist in the record.
Is it a struggle to, do both of those, but still have like a cohesive album at the same time?
You know, in the past, it has to a degree, but I think with this new record now, it's made it a lot easier because I guess something we've struggled with in the past is like consistency with the sound. You know, like in our past records, some songs would be like synth wave, and then some would be more industrial than others. Whereas I feel like this new stuff we're doing has like like you said, cohesive. Like it has a nice little flow to it that where it does. Every song is a little different, but it does make sense together, and that was a challenge between me and the producer I was working with at the time, Nero Bellum of Cyclone 9, where he wanted to help us bridge a lot of those gaps that we did have before.
Okay. So the new album is Magnum Spire Hotel?
Yep.
Okay, so if you could like sum up the message of the story behind this album, what would you say?
It is I guess on the surface, it's a bit of a concept record about this hotel that kind of seemingly exists out of nowhere. And, you know, it's a journey loosely based on Dante's Inferno. It's a journey up instead of down. And you're going up the levels of all these, you know, hotel levels till you can eventually get to the top where there's this like grand ball. And you know, I don't want to spoil anything, but you know, once you get up there, that's the journey. But you explore new levels of depravity as each floor kind of goes up. And I guess the deeper meaning is it talks about things like addiction and depression and overall mental illness, things that I've experienced and you know people I've known have experienced. So it's actually a lot more personal than a lot of the other records I've done.
Okay. And it's set to come out on April 25th. Is that right?
Correct. Yep.
Now I like to ask this question: does that date have a specific like significance to you, or was it just convenient?
It was convenient. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. How long has this album been in the works?
Ooh, roughly 2 years. I began recording it with Nero back in, I want to say, 23. We just got off the first tour we did with them. And I had decided just pretty early on that I wanted to solely work with him on this record because I felt like he understood where we were trying to go. And you know, he was pretty persuasive on me working with him. So we easily just kind of set that up like a month after we got off the road. We kind of started piecing together a lot of the instrumentation of the record. Then sometime before our second tour that we did, where we completed a lot of the vocals and stuff. And then after that second tour, I kind of had to go back and forth. Fixing things, you know, changing lyrics, retracking some stuff. But overall, yeah, it took a bit, like close to 2 years. And then, you know, there's the long waiting game after recording an album just to finalize everything.
Right.
So, yeah, 2 years.
All right. So where this image is the cover, who did that art and stuff? Where'd it come from?
Johnny Bush, who's an artist I love for a long time. He's done like stuff for bands like Ghost. You know, he does a lot of their merch. He's also done some album artwork and tour poster artwork for Wednesday 13, Rob Zombie. So he's been around, and he even has his own book he came out with that sort of like goes into like some other side. I guess stuff on like the Ghost lore for people who really like Ghost. He's done a lot of that, and just an amazing artist. And he's someone I've wanted to work with for a long time.
Nice. So you recently put out the music video for the single Kerosene.
Mm-hmm.
So what did the process behind making that video look like? Like who did what? How'd you come up with the story? That kind of stuff.
That was shot and edited by a guy named King Zab, who I'm actually meeting with later today to shoot our next video. But he is someone I've been a fan of for a while. He has his own group called Scythe Gang 666, and they're sort of like a trap metal kind of hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
But he's done a lot of work for different artists. You know, he's done some for like the people in the ICP camp and artists like Ouija Mac. And then recently he's done some stuff for Tim Skold as well.
Okay.
And he's just someone whose video editing and style that I've really admired for a while. So it was cool to finally hit him up, and because he's residing in LA now, where I'm sort of located, and he and I decided to link up and shoot it. I wanted it to be pretty raw, I guess, compared to the last video where Judas Dance was this high concept video. I definitely wanted this to be showcase more of how we would maybe appear in a live setting.
Do you do very many live shows?
We do usually. We've taken a bit of a hiatus from shows because we really want to build a new I guess production behind our show for this album release show that we're going to be doing in April as well.
Okay. Do you have any shows booked that you can talk about, or?
Sure. Yeah. We have the album release show in April. Mm-hmm. It's at a venue called Bar Sinister in Los Angeles. And it's going to be cool. You know, I was able to handpick a lot of the bands that support us for that show. So it was kind of trying to make it a special night. It's going to be April 26th. So the day after our album comes out, it's going to be there, just because Bar Sinister only does shows on Saturdays. And I figured that'd be a very suitable venue for the whole shtick.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But as of right now, that's the only show we have in the works.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to tell us about this album, or is that about it?
You know, for the most part, sorry, I'm dropping papers here. For the most part, yeah, it's a concept record. It's deeply personal. It's weird because I've been working on it for 2 years now, and it's almost a surreal experience. I'm sure other artists can relate, where it's okay, well, now I'm finally giving it to everyone. Right. And it's weird. It's a weird feeling. You're nervous because you're I hope people like it, but you're also very confident because you're I worked so hard on it, but who knows? But it's out April 25th. It can be pre-ordered on our website, ourfrankenstein.com, where you can find physical pre-orders and the digital on multiple platforms and that whole thing. But yeah.
Okay. This question's a little bit weird, but I've been asking everyone this recently. If you were an ice cream, what flavor would you be?
Ooh.
So it's not your favorite, it's what you would be.
I would be pistachio.
Pistachio? Why?
I'm Italian, and it seems like it's pistachio is very cohesive thing with Italians. You get those pistachio cannolis.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the Italians love pistachios, and I do also love pistachios. So I would say that, and it's green, and green is also a pretty consistent motif with our imagery as well.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Over in the comments, we have Justice saying, it was 20 years ago. I was last at Bar Sinister. Glad it's still there.
Yeah. It's been going for a while. A lot of different people are there now. And, there's been a lot of changes, but it's still Bar Sin.
What social medias is your band on, and where can people, follow you and keep up to date?
We're pretty much on everything. The best places you can follow us are going to be definitely Facebook and Instagram. That's Instagram at Our Frankenstein. No underscore, none of that. We patent that shit. And on Facebook, it's just facebook.com/Our Frankenstein. And if you search us anywhere, you can find us. But those are, I would say, definitely Instagram. We seem to be that seems to be our main hub for the most part.
All right, cool. And was there anything we haven't really touched on that you wanted to talk about?
Ooh. Huh. Let me see. No, for the most part, well, I'm very grateful for you having us on.
Yeah, no problem.
And yeah, the big things that are, happening right now are the record coming out and the album release show. And that's kind of what we're just like hyping up at the moment.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
All right, just last thing, what message do you have for anyone who watches this?
Believe in yourself, and if you are pursuing art or anything you're passionate about, don't let other people or other challenges stifle you. I think if you persevere and you are true, you will get to where you want to be in any facet of your life. That doesn't necessarily just pertain to art. That could be
right,
school or parenthood or anything like that. I think as long as you have good intentions and as long as you are consistent with what you want to do, that'll always show in the end.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with that more.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. If you want to hang out after the credits roll, you're welcome to. But otherwise, yeah, thanks. This was fun. And I hope we get to talk again at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on.